In the last year, our now almost 6-year-old sensitive child has completely shut down when faced with new adults or even known adults she's not close to. She's described that she feels afraid in these cases. Oh, that's just like me. Remember I was telling you about church? Example 1, she hid behind us at Halloween when we only visited people on our block. Example 2, hid under a table at a flower girl rehearsal and then declined being the flower girl. Example 3, refused to attend a nature camp for the second time because she said she didn't like the teachers. She started school a few months ago and acclimated super well, and the teachers just love her and how responsible and observant she is. She has loads of fun with the new friends at school. We really want to honor her boundaries on things we can control, so we just lost the money on the camp and let her stay home this week. But we also want to know how to handle this with things she must do, like changing schools for kindergarten, for example. And we want to help her stretch for things she'd like to do but is afraid of. What advice do you have? Thanks so much. There's another question that's very similar, and I want to read it as well. How do you suggest preparing the kids emotionally for an upcoming challenge? What to do in the moment of the challenge when they get scared and don't want to do it? For example, like a recital. I'm of two minds on these questions, and I want to address them a little bit. I'm happy to hear what folks who are here think about it as well. The thing is that these challenges are going to happen for sure. We do need to prepare them. I guess that other second question gets to the heart of the matter. We do have to prepare. So we will include in the notes the Pea Allegory video that I just recorded and sent out to all of our members, and it's appearing on social media. You can find it on YouTube. Look up Alane, Freund, and the Pea Allegory. So basically, we can't spring because of the 5 tips. Did you notice that almost all of them are about taking more time? The 5 tips tell us that we need to take a lot of time to prepare. And when in the moment, say, let's use me, I don't want to shake hands with the scary lady, or this first child that she hides behind them at Halloween or hides under a table at the rehearsal. So that is a really scary place for children. When they are in that place, you're done. You can't teach or change the situation. However, you can prevent this by knowing what's coming. So an example for Halloween is that you can have a visit the week before Halloween with one neighbor to ask with your child, to ask what are they doing? Just casually, accidentally pretend, but you've set it up to ask them about what Halloween's going to be like at their house. What do they like about it? What will they be doing? And they can say they're going to be handing out treats, and they hope to see your daughter come to their porch, and maybe she would like to do it earlier in the day. If Halloween is on a school day and you want your child to trick or treat and they haven't been successful at it, don't send them to school that day. They're not going to be able to do it at the end of a school day, right? So there's part of this, you get into overwhelm, you can't do anything about it. When you know that, say, the flower girl rehearsal, we need to rehearse for the rehearsal, and that's the Pea Allegory. And I'm not going to go over it in great detail because you can watch the video, but I have really found over the years that the number 6 is the magic number. So you're going to use, for most situations with most highly sensitive children and youth, you can use 6 weeks to prep them. And for many of these things, I think you do have 6 weeks warning, like starting camp, starting a new school, changing schools, the recital. There are lots of opportunities. And there may be things that are outside the scope of your child's ability. There may be. And you have to experiment. And we do want to push them into the challenges, but we want to do it in a really thoughtful way. So the first week you say, your recital's coming up, or camp is going to be in 6 weeks. And and especially for young children, for as soon as the kids are on screens, And, sort of the movement is wait until 8th. We'd like our children to stay off of the screens until 8th. So before that, they need a big piece of poster board on the wall that is that maps out the rest of the weeks of the summer, for example. Everyone should have this. If you can get a family Google Calendar, or you can get your 8th grade and older child to use a calendar. I'm still working on that with my 21-year-old, so don't feel bad if you can't. But you map out the rest of the summer very clearly. And for younger children, even up until middle school, to put it on a large piece of paper on the wall that everybody can see. So there's a serious countdown. Recital, summer camp, first day of school. You're going to, at week 6, you're going to say, in 6 weeks, school starts. In 6 weeks, we have camp. And, or we have the wedding coming up. And we're going to practice what this will look like. So let's take the flower girl, for example, or the recital. Maybe in the first week, you decide what we're going to wear. And you try it on and you wear it. And that's very exciting, probably. And so that's a really good possibility. The first 6 weeks out from school, or camp, you write the teachers a letter, your child does, with your help, or draw them a picture. Maybe you even make them cookies and take them to the school or the camp and deliver them. You do something that engages with the upcoming challenge in a way that the child has power over it. And it's all fun and good and easy. In the second week of the 6-week countdown, you do a little something more. Maybe you actually go to the place where the thing is going to happen and you talk about it. Maybe you meet the adult that will be involved there, and you bring them once again something that the child has made for them, or a photograph of the child wearing their special outfit to show them. If you're having a big COVID problem, maybe you do it on screen. You start to travel the path that you're going to take to this place, literally and figuratively. You get the idea? On week 3, you do a little bit more. You start to practice. You have the basket that the flower girl's going to carry, or you videotape the performance. This is great for book reports, oral presentations, any kind of performance. Or a lot of sensitive children struggle more with performance anxiety. They're thinking about it so much, they can't really help it. So you have the basket, you practice, you do it. Maybe, like I said, maybe you videotape them. They perform it for you. Then they perform it for the teacher. They go in early to school, or early to dance class, or early whatever. I was a flower girl, I have to say, when I was 5 or 6, and I found it to be extremely overstimulating. There's a really lovely picture, but the way they made it work for me was my youngest aunt, my mom's youngest sister, who was quite a bit younger than my mom, was a bridesmaid. And maybe she was even the maid of honor. So we spent a lot of time together, Jane and I, and we compared dresses, and we went and visited the church together. And so I had her there. She was right there in the doorway before I had to walk down. And I think in the end, Jane walked with me. Somebody walked with me down the aisle. I didn't have to do it by myself. An adult walked with me. What's wrong with that? But we practiced it a lot. I was able to do it, but I'm going to tell you, that was all I was able to do, probably for that entire week.